Anyone checking the replay, we are going into iconic horror couples. We wanted to do something that was perfect for the month of love for Valentine's Day.
Yes, and not discuss the same old movies that are always discussed around Valentine's Day. So we thought this would be a lot more fun.
Yeah, there's definitely some old faithfuls out there, and we were trying to think of some. I mean, we could have gone Heart Eyes. Maybe we'll do that next year
Okay.
for Valentine's Day since I still haven't seen it. Maybe I'll save it.
Yeah, neither have I.
And it's Devon Sawa,
Yes.
who's awesome in the horror genre. So,
Yes, he is.
but we're starting with two couples that everyone talks about. So, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but Chucky and I feel like Chucky and Tiffany do get thought of first when it comes
Hmm.
to iconic horror couples. So we thought we would just intro with them and the fact that it's a toxic relationship, so polar opposite from who you see on the left of the screen with Morticia and Gomez.
It's yeah. I love how you have just how different they are. You have
Yeah.
the Tiffany and Chucky, and it's like this is like Fred and Ethel from I Love Lucy. They've been married for so long. They can't go 10-15 minutes without picking on each other, saying something really really mean, treating each other like garbage. But in the end, no one can do that to my wife or husband but me, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the chemistry between, because I think they're in the same room, between Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly when they were doing the voice work. It just flowed perfectly between the two of them. They're a lot of fun, and I think that's when my interest in that franchise came back, because how many times can you watch the same killer doll chase the same kid to try to possess him, type of thing? And this brought in the fun, I guess you would say, the fun into the franchise that I thought was sorely needed.
I think it did too. And they're bonded by chaos.
Yeah,
So how can that not be fun in the horror world?
yeah. Yeah, and again, it's just they lean more toward the comedy, and the comedy isn't just over the top goofy. I mean, a lot of it is dialogue based. It's what I said, Fred Nutt, or it's kind of like Alan Peg Bundy. You know what I mean? With that they love and care for each other, but they're gonna talk shit with each other the first chance they get as well.
I agree. Now with the couple on the left, Morticia and Gomez, I remember I was a kid when that came out, The Addams Family, and I just remember being fascinated by that couple in the first place. They're so just that whole gothic and lovey-dovey all the time. They never seem to be mad at each other. I feel like one would walk through fire to get to the other one.
That's what I love about Mortician Goes. I saw this. The first movie wasn't in theaters, but it was like when it came out to video, because my mom was a big Addams Family fan, the TV show. And me and my daughter were binge watching the TV show. And we loved the way Morticia and Gomez played off each other. The two actors, John Aston and Carolyn Jones, they were in relationships, outside of each other, but they admitted that they fell for each other in real life when they were filming, and they didn't, act upon it, but you can tell. And then when you went to the movie, it just got upgraded, because you can get away with a lot more with the flirtiness, the adult themes and stuff like that. And Angelica Houston and Raul Julia, they're born to play a couple. And you're right, they would walk through fire for each other. They would literally die for each other. Um, and again, it's all dialogue. You have the classic, he hears French, so he's got to kiss up her arm, type of thing. But it's just the way they play off each other, their body language with each other, the way Gomez looks at her, and you could just, through Raul Julia's eyes, you could tell that he's loved her forever. And that's what made a great couple. Again, the chemistry. It's like you're not going to buy people in love with each other if the two actors don't work well with each other. You're just like, why am I watching this? These two were born to play a couple.
Absolutely. And you were talking about the John Aston and I forget her name, but I didn't watch it back then, and now
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see what that one was like, just as
It's
a
on
TV show.
Tubi.
I would like to. It's on Tubi.
On Tubi, yeah,
Everything is on Tubi. All the good things are on Tubi.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. I come home from work and me and my daughter, we'd watch 2 episodes together. We just absolutely loved it. And even she said she loved the way that Morticia and Gomez were with each other. You know,
Yeah.
granted, the you know, Tish that was French and kissing up the arm, that's in every single episode. So if you binge it, it does get old, but it's 45, 50 episodes. So I get it, but there's still just such a great couple, whether it's TV or movies. Even in the sequel, the Adams Family Values, they're just so good with each other, and you buy their love story. You know what I mean? You really do know that Gomez would, he'd fall on the knife for Morticia. He really would.
It's kinda sad really that he had passed when he did because she could have been convinced to do another one with him, but she didn't wanna do it without him,
Yeah, she
Angelica.
said that he is one of the best actors she's ever worked with. And because he was ill when they made the second one, and then he passed within I think a year or two of it coming out. But she said that one of her best memories is working with Raul for those two movies.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, we will go into our first one of the 7 that we have on our list, and you thought of this one, but I think
Yes.
this is one that Kelly, one of our viewers, had thrown in too. She had sent me a message. She said, "Is it okay if I give a suggestion?" And I think she had given Seth and Veronica, and I said that you had also
Hmm.
had Seth and Veronica on your list, if I'm not mistaken. If she's in the chat, she can let me know if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
so I'm surprised I didn't think of Seth and Veronica from The Fly.
I'm not surprised, like not you personally, but I'm not surprised that it wasn't really thought of because no one thinks of this movie, at least, or thinks of it as a love story because it is. It
Yeah.
really is. It's all about the effects. It's all about what Jeff Goldblum, the different layers of effects in his face falling apart and, the quotes and stuff like that. It's a love story. He's a big nerd. He really is. He's a big nerd. You've seen his apartment. He's got like 6 or 7 of the same outfits he wears. It's just, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He literally has like a TV. His mattress is on the floor, and that's it. He's got the essentials to make food, but that's it. His whole life is science. And then when this wild woman, this reporter, comes into his life, it's a 180. He has finally got his tractor beams on her, and it's a slow build with their love. Like, at first it's just innocent flirting. She's just trying to get the story. He's just loving the attention that someone, especially of the opposite sex, is interested in him and his work for once, basically. And it's just this fun, simple flirting that leads to this relationship because she's still dealing with the ex boyfriend or ex husband. I don't remember if they were married or not. So they got that. And then they fall in love, and she sticks with him through this transformation when he gets mutated with the fly DNA. And it is, it's a perfect allegory. I hate to say, when a loved one sticks with the loved one that has like a terminal illness. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the strongest type of love, if you think about it, is being with it, watching, lack of a better term, watching your spouse, your loved one slowly die in front of you. She stays with him to the bitter end. Like, even when he does kidnap her in the finale, but she stays with him. And I swear, if you guys can just get past the gore, because there are some cringy moments for me, like the fingernails. I can't do the fingers and all that stuff. That still gets me. But he's got one of
Body
this.
horror has always been hard for me, but I like that you just said that it's like staying with someone through illness. I hadn't even thought of it before, but that's so perfect. It's a
And
love story with horror in it.
the thing is, you stay with it. She's with him to the very bitter end. It's one of the saddest endings I've seen in a movie, in a horror movie. And if you want to, it came out in like 86. Okay. Spoilers. Sorry, guys. Seth doesn't make it. All right. But at the end, when she has to end it for him, it's like watching your loved one go, and she's the one that caused it. Sometimes the loved one, to put them out of their misery, has to pull the plug. And I've had my own situation where I've had to do that with my loved one. I had to would they rather be like this for the rest of their life, or should I put them at peace? You know, at the very end, when Seth puts the gun on himself and he's basically begging her to do it, she hesitates. You know what I
That's
mean?
so
She
sad. Oh
she
my gosh,
doesn't want to do it. And then
I
when
can picture that part in my head now.
I
Yeah.
can too, and she doesn't. She has, you know, Gina Davis. She has that little bit of a wail at the end when she does it, and then the boom. That's it. That's the end. It's a perfect love story that people overlook, and I think it helps that I don't know if these two were married yet, but they were definitely involved, and they had that natural chemistry. You know what I mean? So
I
that
think
also
that
helped.
probably do you think that happens? That probably happens a lot in movies just because you're in the character, you're in the
Hmm.
zone. You are that person in that
Hmm.
moment. You are the
Yeah,
person that this other person is in love with and
yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah, and
So,
people just overlook. They think it's just a gory, nasty sci-fi horror movie, and it is. But if you peel away all the gore and the grime and stuff, it's a very good, sad, tragic. You know, kind of. I don't know if Shakespearean is the right term, but love story. You know, from beginning to end. And if you can look at it as I think her name is Rennie, following Seth all the way through all of the different stages. Again, terminal illness, whether it's going through chemo, watching this, watching that, you know, anything. It can be a hard watch, but it hits the nail on the head when it comes to that.
that did you think of that the first time you watched it, or was that did that take you a couple of viewings to kind of come to that
Oh,
conclusion? Because I didn't at first, but I'm going to now the next time I watch it.
it took me a while because I mean, I saw this first when I was a kid. I didn't care about that stuff. But
Yeah.
as an adult, the more I watched it, the more I was able to, because with before my dad passed, he was my mom's caregiver. So he stuck with her through thick and thin until he passed. So that kind of helped me put two and two together. And like, you know, Rennie could have ditched Seth. You know, my dad, he could have been like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
You stick with them till, you know, death do you part type of thing. And with Seth and Veronica, that's what happened, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, well, thank you for putting that spin on it because
Hmm.
I don't know when I'd watch that one again just because it is body horror.
You got to be in the right mood.
I have
You,
to be in the right mood for it. I mean, it's exactly why I can't watch The Substance. I just had a client
okay.
today asking me about that. Oh, have you seen The Substance? And I said, no, I don't do well with body horror. And she said, yeah, we had to turn it off. She said her
I,
husband told her it was sci-fi or something. I'm like, that's
I
not
think
sci-fi.
I think body horror, I think The Fly is worse. I think The
Is it?
Substance has one big, gigantic, over the top finale.
Yeah.
But I think The Fly is worse with the body horror because there's more build up to it. You see the fingernails, the ears, you know, the vomit. There's all the Substance is great. I think The Fly is better when it comes to the effects, in my opinion.
Well, and like you said, if someone is going through something like cancer,
Mm-hmm.
that that is going through all of the stages of it, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah.
Because losing the hair and not even looking like yourself anymore, losing your
Mm-hmm.
finger, maybe your fingernails are brittle now from going through chemo. It's yeah, you're right. It's all of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that it was done on purpose by Cronenberg and the writers. It came out in the 80s, the HIV/AIDS epidemic. You know what I
Sure.
mean? It could have been an allegory for that.
Could have
I could
been.
be looking too far into it, but that's just how I look at this film.
But
It's her
I
sticking with him to the bitter end.
I like peeling back the layers of things though. I don't always sometimes when I first watch a movie, I'm just watching it for surface value. I'm just
Right.
seeing it as it is. And then later on I might start thinking, yeah, but what if there's this connection in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Was it intentional or not intentional? That's what's so fun about cinema
Mm-hmm.
is sitting there and going doing a podcast and then looking into it just a little bit more, and I feel like it makes us appreciate it.
If you're discussing a film on camera, or if you're discussing a film in print, you're looking at these films a lot differently than if you or and me were at work at the water cooler. Hey, did you see The Fly? I love this and this
Yeah.
and this. But if you know you're going to be personally talking about this, you're going to be paying more attention to this. You're going to be paying more attention to this and the little bits and pieces, and it might connect differently than if it was just you and I just BSing at work. You know what I mean?
I agree. All right, anything more to say about Seth and Veronica?
It's just one of the, in my opinion, like one of the most tragic love stories when it comes to science fiction horror, and I wish it didn't get overlooked, the love story of it, because of the gore and the gooey stuff.
Yeah, good pick, Eric. All right, next up, Cherry and
Yes.
Alray from Planet Terror.
Yes.
I didn't even tell you that I had this one.
Not until you showed me the graphics. I was happy to discuss this. Go right ahead, please.
But I thought of this one because I just really like them as a couple because so anyone that hasn't yet seen Planet Terror, this is a fun zombie-ish movie. Are they really zombies? Yeah, they're are they just
Uh,
sick? I think they're
I
just sick. It's kind of like 28
it's
days
yeah,
later.
it's like 28 days later. They're not zombies, but it's a zombie movie. It doesn't matter. In my
Yeah.
opinion, it is what it is. But they're infected. You know,
Yes.
that's the word people like to use it to keep them away from being zombies. They're infected.
Yeah, which I'm always a fan of the zombie movies or, oh, they're infected and now you have to run from the infected folks. Well, Cherry and Elray, the movie starts out, Cherry is a dancer,
Hmm.
a go-go dance. Isn't that what she calls it? It's go-go dancing or
Yes, yes. No, you're a stripper. No, it's a go-go dancer. Yeah,
go-go, not cry cry.
yeah.
That's how I remember. So anyway, but she's not with him in the beginning. They had broken up,
Hmm.
maybe for a couple of years or something. And they come together in the movie at some point and they get back together.
Hmm.
But what I love about this is they are kind of like Morticia and Gomez in some ways
Yeah.
because they're willing to fight to the ends of the earth for each other.
Hmm.
Once because she reaches into his pocket, he says, "I didn't. I don't remember the. It's been a while since I've
Yeah.
seen it, but he had a ring in his pocket. She took his jacket when she left him, and all
Hmm.
this time he's had this engagement ring in the pocket.
Yeah, and she
Anyway,
never
sorry,
checked it. Yeah,
spoiler alert.
yeah. Hey, like me and Alex have always said, if you're watching a video about a movie, you take that chance of having spoilers. So if you see that we're talking Planet Terror, you haven't seen it, you can come back in 5 minutes, type of
And
thing.
as you can see on the cover of the movie, she ends up with this weapon attached to her leg,
Yeah,
lack of leg there,
yeah. That, that
like a
that's a
prosthetic.
that's just a fun scene. Like she has to have the leg amputated, and he just walks in like Billy Badass. He's like, "I got something for you," or some stupid line like that. He literally, you're running with it, okay, guys. He hooks it up to her leg, and they are like this big. They go from this ex couple that have definitely still love each other. They're too pig headed to get back to each other or to get back together. The apocalypse happens, and now they are just Mickey and Mallory without the psychoticness. You know what I mean? Because they're just mowing down all these infected people, and just the way that Rose and I don't know I think it's Freddie Rodriguez. I think his name is
Yes.
the way that they just play off of each other. Like you can tell that, man, if there wasn't this apocalypse happening, he'd be calling her this and she'd be calling him that, and they wouldn't get together. But the way, like, she sits on that motorcycle and she's facing him, you know what I mean? Just to be a little bit sexy, and he's trying to be all macho with her and stuff like that. It's a fun way that they're playing off the sexiness and the macho ness of the two characters, and it works. It works.
No, I very well could have called this our favorite horror couples because they are one of my favorite horror
Mhm.
couples. And
Well,
I guess I had
you can always edit the name once we're done going live, dear.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I could do that.
hmm
That's the beauty of, going in and changing your thumbnail, right?
hmm And,
Yeah, Cherry
Rose,
and Elray
Rose is so good. And I'm not. I'm
yes.
when it comes to Rose McGowan, I'm hit and miss. It depends on what she is in and what she's doing. But she's got that perfect mix of sexiness. She's still hard headed, like like Tatum and Scream, and it's not as bad. And she's also got some fun moments too with like the other characters that she plays off of. And then Freddie playing El Rey, he's just, this little guy. He's not big. Like he's not like short, but he's not big. He's not, like he's playing off like Bruce Willis and people like that. You know what I mean? Jeff Fahey and Michael Bean and Tom Savini, they're all bigger than him physically. But you buy it just how cool he is. And again, he would just like you said the Adams family couple, like he's the Gomez that would, and he rides into hell to save her. You know what I mean? That was when he's in the hospital looking for her, he beelines for her. You know what I mean? And
Did you
it's
ever
great.
think a woman with a prosthetic a gun as a prosthetic leg. Do you ever think that could be a sexy thing? They made it that way in this movie.
Hey, I always tell everybody, everybody's got a kink. You know what I mean? We don't kink shame here on Fear of the Talking Heads. You know what? You like what you like.
That's right. But yeah, this is one that if you like movies where it has a bit of a focus, a little love interest focus in the movie, I think you
Mhm.
would like this. Especially, I just think Rose McGowan as Cherry Darling is perfect.
She's so much fun. And every horror movie always has the trope when the two survivors, the world's ending, but they have time to, make out and everything like that. You actually buy it in this because they're just so cool and smooth. You know what I mean? Again, the sexy moments is when they're on the motorcycle together, looking at each other, and then they gotta go blow up like 2 or 3 dozen infected people.
And I was gonna say, I normally don't like a ton of action, and by that I mean that just this huge. For some reason, I'm able to do Mission Impossible, but movies like that I typically don't do, and there is quite a bit of action in this.
Mhm.
But he's just this crazy good gunslinger. I mean, the whole town knows about him.
Yeah, I think it's the
You
create.
Elray, I've heard about you, that kind of thing.
I think it's the creativity with the action. I mean, come on, they're mowing down infected people. When somebody's flying a helicopter and it's nose diving and chopping them up, you know what I mean? It's the creativity, and that's what Robert Rodriguez is known for. But you're
Yeah.
right, the mystery of El Rey. We don't know anything about him, and we never learn, and that's what I like.
Yeah. Some things we don't need to know. Less is more.
Nope, that's right.
Well, the next one that we have up is one of your picks, and it's non-traditional, but I love that. Silence
Yes.
of the Lambs.
Hey, you know what? They may not be married, but you've heard the term work wife and work husband. And that is how these two are. Oh man, I love the chemistry. They're on screen together 5 minutes, if that, but it's a strong 5 minutes. The way they play off of each other, like they need each other. Like, well, they do because Clarice needs Hannibal to help solve the case of Buffalo Bill.
Wild Bill, yeah.
Hannibal needs something to do. You know what I mean?
He's in there, he's
And
bored.
he's bored, and he can finally analyze somebody now. And again, quid pro quo. I'll help you, you help me. So he's getting something in return. And the way, again, it's all about, it's love stories, or lack of a better term here, but it's all about the chemistry between the two actors. And it's perfect here. He's so fucking dangerous, and you buy it. And what I like about Clarice and Jodie Foster is she's very, very strong, but you can tell she is afraid of this man whenever she talks to him. And like it's just perfect. And it goes on to the next film, Hannibal, which I think is underappreciated. I mean, it's not as good as Silence of the Lambs, but not many things can be when Silence is that good. But they still have that cat and mouse type of relationship because now he's free, and she wants to track him down, but she's busy doing this, and then their worlds connect together again, and it is what it is, and they're again playing off each other. And Hannibal is still just as terrifying with Clarice, and I think Julianne Moore does a pretty decent follow up as Clarice than as Jodie did, but these two characters they're born to be together.
Whether this is true or not, online earlier I had seen something that said that Hannibal and Clarice in the books are together. Is that
Yeah,
true?
at the end of Hannibal the novel, and I think it was Julianne. I think that's why Jodie Foster turned it down. In the end of the novel Hannibal, Clarice does become a cannibal, and they become a couple, which I think was the wrong way to go. I've never read the books, but I think that's the wrong way to go, and I'm glad. Again, spoilers. That is not how Hannibal ended. They never get back together. That's the last time you see them together is at the end of that film, and Hannibal lets her go. You know, and I think it's having to just be like I said, the work wife, the work husband type of thing. That's how they need each other is the better way to go than the romantic aspect.
Well, I don't know if you had seen Killing Eve, the TV show. If you haven't,
Mm-mm.
okay. I don't know if you would see that or not. It's this kind of like there's a Sandra Oh is in it
Okay.
with Jodie Comer, and Jodie Comer. It's very cat and mouse, so I don't
Okay.
want to say too much, but it's it's one of those things that you just said about Hannibal Lecter and her getting together. Like you just didn't do that. There's some of that in this TV show, but it
Mm-hmm.
had me hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one that if Kelly Brewer ends up watching this later, thank you for the thought on Eve and because it's very cat and mouse. I think that's too
Okay.
why she brought this up as a couple. And those are always fun to watch because
Mm-hmm.
you're on the edge of your seat because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And TV shows that it got to 4 seasons. And so I guess it would be an honorable mention to mention Villanelle and her, and it just very good. I mean, it's one that I went back and rewatched while I was waiting for the second season,
Mm-hmm.
because it takes months to, sometimes a year for a second, third season, whatever to come
Yeah,
out.
I know. It's nuts.
I ended up going back and rewatching the first season just because I liked it that much. And it's one
Okay.
of those that has a much like Nightmare on Elm Street, how it has a lot of different directors throughout the franchise. This had I want to say it had a different director for like every season.
Okay.
And so it has a little different spin on it. People could tell, but I just kind of took it as it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll send you a link to that. See, I don't
Yeah.
remember where it's streaming, but I think
Yeah.
you would like it.
We didn't even think of TV shows. I mean, and since we didn't, I can say this is probably an honorable mention. It's more sci-fi than horror, but like Mulder and Scully. You know what I mean? On the
Right.
X-Files.
Yeah.
You know, eventually, I guess they brought it back, and eventually they did become a couple or something. But it's that professional tension that I like when it comes
Yeah.
to couples that or people that have to work together. Like, I don't want them to hook up. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I want them to get as close as possible, but they know it's gonna screw up the work relationship, and then they back off. And that the Mulder and Scully were great too. But that's the first thing I thought of with Hannibal and Clarice is there's no way that relationship would work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also a relationship where they do need each other. You know?
And going further into it, I don't remember, was it called Hannibal, the one that had Julianne Moore in it? I
Yeah, that's
actually
the
thought
second one. Yeah,
that was the second one?
yeah.
I actually think that, that there was a bit more chemistry with him and Julianne
Mm-hmm.
Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Not to take away anything from Jodie Foster, but I
Yeah.
did feel that way.
I think so. Well, they had more screen time together. They were physically next to each other because
Yeah,
remember, Hannibal and Clarice, they had that wall or that mirror, the glass separating them. And I think
true.
Jodie Foster has said like I think they only met each other maybe once the entire time of filming.
Oh, okay.
So I mean that could explain why maybe Anthony and Julianne Moore had more chemistry because they're actually physically on screen with each other.
Such a good movie too, and I just wanna say, I know some people don't count this as horror. It is absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely is horror. It does land in that horror thriller, horror
Hmm.
slash real thriller
Hmm.
subcategory, but such a good movie and such a good chemistry, like you said, with just, I need something from you and you need something from me and let's work
Hmm.
together kind of thing. So,
Hmm.
anything else that we want to say about Hannibal and Clarice?
No, I think this is proof that like I said, I think they're only on camera maybe 5 minutes. 10 minutes is I know it's not 10 minutes; it's less than that. But it's lightning in a bottle with these two,
Yeah.
and less is more. Perfect with these two.
Yeah, definitely. The next one that I want to talk about is a favorite of both of ours, and I feel like this is, I know it's not your favorite for vampires, it's my favorite vampire movie though.
It's
And it
up there for me.
really is it? So
Yes.
there was once upon a time Bram Stoker's Dracula was top for me, and then this came out and I was like, "Sorry, Bram Stoker's Dracula, you're gonna have to go on the next shelf down."
Yeah, if I had to pick like top five vampires, and I think I've done it before, this is always in like the top three, no matter what,
I
because it's
figured.
just so freaking good.
And here's another movie, Eric, that back when I first saw it, I just took it as a vampire movie. I didn't see anything with Louis and Lestat.
Hmm.
I didn't see anything there until I was an adult and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute here. This is almost kind of a relationship."
It really is, and I don't know if they're physically a couple in the books.
They are.
Okay,
That's what yeah.
but they show enough of being a couple in this movie. It's Lestat has been by himself for God knows how long. You know what I mean? He finally finds, he's been basically stalking Louis since he lost his family. He's been stalking. This is the one I want. You know what I mean? He gets him, and then now Louis is stuck, and it becomes this very toxic, kind of like Tiffany and Chucky, very toxic relationship. And they both know it's not going to work. They both know that they're doomed if they stay together. So, what do sometimes, I hate to say, what do couples do sometimes? They stay together for the kids. Well, now they have a daughter. You know what I mean? When they bring in Kirsten Dunst, and it seems like it's the happy go lucky family. But then eventually, you have that great scene where it's Claudia's birthday, and Lestat is so happy. He brings her another doll. Oh, another doll. You always get me dolls. And then Tom Cruise is just perfect. He just kind of slumps a little bit. He has the doll like this is the doll, and he's just kind of throws it aside like fuck. I failed again, type of thing. You know what I mean? His not his manhood is taken away, but like he was excited to give her this present, and then at that age, we don't know how old she is now. You know what I mean? I think she could be like 15 or whatever, like literally, because even though she doesn't age, he's just like this little shit. You know what I mean? The stuff I do for her, type of thing. And it's just great. And then by the end of it, who was one of the last people Louis sees before he gives the interview? It's Lestat. He can't get rid of this guy. It's like sleeping with the enemy. You know what I mean? Him and Claudia take Lestat out. They bury him in the swamp. He shows up playing the piano, covered in shit and everything, like he's all Cool Hand Luke. And then they burn him alive. At the end of the movie, he still can't get away from him when he's now in modern times, and he's walking around and he sees Lestat all huddled up and afraid of the lights and stuff like that. He just can't. It's one of those relationships, like you can't get rid of that ex no matter what. And it's great, and it's one of Tom Cruise's finest performances, in my opinion.
It's definitely a marriage that
Mhm.
you can't get out of, that you
Yeah.
wanna get out of and you can't, and he's
Mhm.
stuck. It's a curse. He's just
Yeah.
in it with him, and I noticed that even as the movie got further along, it's
Mhm.
not like I mean, could he have left? Because
He
Lestat
w
just didn't want him to leave, right?
Well, I'll put it this way, where would he go?
Yeah, that's
He
true.
looks like that type of thing to me. Like, where would he go? And eventually they got to the point in the relationship where you're always pestering each other, and you'll do it in front of the kids. Oh, Louis, he was too scared to eat humans. He fed on rats. You know what I mean? Just kind of browbeating them in front of the kid that it happens in relationships when they've been together for that freaking long. And it's just so great. Like Brad Pitt's he's more subdued, and the way he performs. But the Tom Cruise as Lestat is prim and proper. I want all the best. Oh, great! Here comes Debbie Downer Louis. He's got to screw everything up for me again, type of thing. I can't get what I want in life because I'm married to that. You know what I mean? Type of thing. I should have never. They can't break up. They have that. I wish I never married you type of argument, and that's how you could tell Lestat feels. Because at the end, when he takes out Christian Slater and he's listening to the interview. Louis, always whining. And then he looks to Christian. He's like, I've had to listen to that centuries. So he's still bitching about his ex, you know what I mean, to some random guy. And that's what's great about this relationship and Tom Cruise's performance. And I'm glad that, because I remember when it came out, Anne Rice threw a shit fit when Tom Cruise was cast, because she didn't think he can bring in the eroticness, the possible homosexuality of Lestat. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise, manly man, Top Gun, like can blow up stuff, and he blew her away, and she put out like a one ad apology type of thing because she was so
Oh,
proud of
yeah.
how he brought this character to life.
Tom Cruise nailed this role, and
One of his
I
best performances.
having yeah, I can't see anyone else in that role now. I mean,
Oh
and they
God.
picked 2 beautiful men to play this. So,
Yeah, with the
and they didn't
sequel,
even
Stuart Townsend, he can't even hold a fucking candle in
no.
Queen of the Damned to Tom Cruise. And I'm not just saying that because it's Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? I'm saying it because no, it's not even close. And I haven't seen the TV show yet, though. You know, I do have.
Freaking Patrick.
What a dork! What a dork!
Well, I can tell you
Uh,
which ones are sexier. It's not the sharks.
that's true. That's
If
true.
anyone is
I've
listening
yet
to
to
the
see.
audio of this,
I've yet to see a sexy shark. I'll say that.
I thought you were going to grab something shark related and bring it into screen.
Oh no, I'm not going to acknowledge Patrick that much.
But yeah, I love this movie. And I
Hmm.
years later now, I love that it actually stands for something else too, that there's this it kind of gives the LGBTQ community a little something too.
Hmm.
Just one more movie that they can appreciate and love and yeah.
It's great because this is not just me being mean. It's you can see the relationship, but it's not like in your face. You know what I mean? It's not just checking boxes to have that type of movie out there. You can tell, you can put two and two together that these guys, whether it's physical or not in the movie, they are a couple. And they are representing that lifestyle. You know what I mean? And it's great that they have that representation, whether that was the intention or not of the movie. I'm sure it was because that's how it is in the books.
And can I just say, I know this is off course for we're talking about the couples, not
Sure.
necessarily the movie itself, but I love and appreciate when vampire movies keep the vampire beautiful. There's so
Yeah.
many movies where I mean, we saw that with Jerry Dandridge,
He was a
where he's
stud,
just,
man. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he was a
He was a stud
handsome
until they turned
man.
him into they turned him into like a barracuda, is what it was.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Or
Honestly,
like Selma Hayek. Oh man, she is a vampire. She has an age, but then he turned her into a fucking snake monster or something like that. With
yeah,
the scales.
I have so there's I feel like they do that with vampires. Either they stay beautiful and they just grow a little bit longer teeth, or they completely change their look. Now, I'm always going to love the vampire movies no matter what, but
Right.
if I had to prefer, I prefer my vampires beautiful like this, where they just grow their
I'm
teeth.
same here, and I'm also a sucker for the aristocratic vampire. That's what I want. I want the prim and proper, rich snob vampire. I like those. Like even the ones in Underworld. You know what I mean? They were hot to look at, but they were better than you type of thing because that's how a vampire should feel. You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
all have to wear leather and ride fucking Harleys. You know what I mean? There's stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true because and I'm trying to think of I even looked up for David from uh, the Lost Boys. I always have to think about that. David, how they had his forehead kind of protruding a little bit too. I
Hmm.
mean, they really did do something different with vampires then,
Hmm.
but these will always be my favorite. So,
Yeah.
do we have anything more to say about Louis and Lestat?
Did you watch the TV series? I know I have
I didn't.
access to AMC. I'll say that. I just haven't had the chance to watch the TV
Oh,
show. But
you're
I've heard
right.
it's
Like
really, really good.
I definitely could with AMC. I could watch it.
Hmm.
Maybe that's something I'll dive into at a later point because that could be something we could talk about on the channel too.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how
I've
many
heard it's really,
seasons
really
in it
good.
is.
2 or 3, I think.
Okay, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
But
So,
this
all right.
movie makes me want to read the books. You know what I mean? Or at least the first 2.
Yeah. I can't
And
remember if I read the book on this or not. It's been
yeah.
so long. I mean, this is from the 90s. Yeah, I can't even all I know is this movie is timeless for me. I look
Hmm.
back and watch it now, and I think nothing about it seems outdated.
No, the only thing that would date it is like, Louis goes and watches like Superman, but he's watching Superman in the 90s and Superman is still relevant. So
Yeah.
kids might wonder who the hell is that guy in the suit instead of the guy playing him now. But other than that, no, because
True.
most of it is in I hate to say the old time, 1800s and stuff like that. And then they go to, I don't know if they're in France or Spain or wherever they are for the second half of the movie. But when it's present day, it's just dirty old New Orleans, and you don't really see that much that would date it. I don't know if you see that many cars or anything like that. Like the only thing that would date it is maybe the music, because Lestat drives away listening to Guns N' Roses. So
Yeah, that was perfect.
yeah. No, Pat.
Sharkula.
No, that movie's awful. Barb, I
That's a
love you to
thing?
death. If it's a thing, it's a thing. I'll send you the video. It's thanks to Patrick. It's a
Oh,
thing. Trust me. I've watched it.
are
I've
you guys
talked about
doing
it.
Sharks and Slack? Are you guys doing that again this year? No,
We're
probably not.
thinking of getting it together. It's just I got a lot
Okay.
of stuff going on here with the interviews and all that stuff, but
Oh, yeah,
we're
that's right.
trying to. We're trying to.
Yes, I always forget to say this part. If anyone's watching the replay of this, go check out Eric's channel. Hey, Internet Eric here on YouTube. And also, since Patrick's here, check out Patrick's channel as well. Have
Yes.
Cheeto Will View. Both have very good reviews and interviews on their channels. The interviews are awesome. It's just everyday people, isn't it, for the most part?
It is, and Patrick's the reason I started doing it, and I had Patrick on, about a month ago. And I learned a lot of stuff about him. I'm still jealous
Yeah.
that this bastard met and drove Crispin Glover around for a night. You know,
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I don't know what that guy's up to now. Is he kind of a hermit?
He's always been a hermit, I think, but he
Yeah.
still does. He still does his tours with his weird movies, and one of these days I'm going to see it because he does come to Chicago on occasion, but it's just never fit into my schedule.
Option number 5. I guess we'll head into that one. This one's your pick.
Yes.
Aliens.
And because a lot of people say that ain't a horror movie, that's an action movie, that's a sci-fi.
Yes, it is.
Shut up. Okay. If Jaws can be considered a horror movie, Aliens, there's monsters in it, kidnapping people and having them rip out of their chest. It's horrific enough.
Yeah, it's sci-fi horror, which is a subcategory. I don't know why anyone would think that this isn't horror. I was scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared watching the alien movies.
I was watching it, and what made me think is we had this planned for like a month, I think, this stream, and I was watching a documentary on aliens, and I'm like, wow, you can tell that if they would have survived part 3, these two would be married. These two would have a couple. They'd be raising Newt by themselves. You know what I mean? And it's just natural flirtation. And that's what I like. Very subtle. This scene here is one of the best scenes in the entire movie. When you have aliens blowing up and robots getting ripped in half, this is still one of the best scenes of the movie right here, where Hicks is teaching Ripley how to shoot a gun. And he's trying to act all impressive. You know what I mean? Feel the weight. This can shoot off blah, 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 this many rounds per second type of thing. And he's trying to be his tough Space Marine self. But when he says, feel the weight, and she puts it in his hands, he gets behind her, shows her how to properly hold it. And then, he's showing her, pull this, do that. Oh, what's that? That's the flamethrower. I don't think you want to mess with that. And then she gives, so, Sigourney's my queen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She gives Michael Biehn that look. And she said, this was your idea. Show me everything. I can handle myself. And then he's got that smirk right there on screen. He's like, yeah, I noticed.
I thought you would like this image. I had a couple others, and I was like, no, I have to go with this one.
No, this is the perfect one because there's no sexual tension. They've never met before until this mission. But it's one of those, you could tell if their story ended differently with the sequel, they would be together. And
I love that.
That's what I love about the two of them, and their chemistry between the two actors. Again, I keep going to it. It's so natural. You know what I mean? It's very low key. It's just little lines, little looks they give each other. Like he grows to respect her because she's the outsider. This is my unit. This is what we do. No one respected her. Oh, she saw an alien once. Whoop de fucking do. They literally say that in the movie. You know what I mean? But he grows to respect her and sees her as an equal, whether she has military training or not. And that's what I appreciate about this natural chemistry. He goes to respect her. She, in turn, respects him back. And it's just, again, this little flirtation that this is the beginning. This is literally the beginning of a relationship. Like someone you work with, if you're both single, you both like each other, you do these little flirtations and you have your own comments. You say it strictly to this person and no one else. And that's how Ripley and Hicks were to me.
I think you're right that it could have evolved into something else, and I read online that they were regretful that they killed him off and Newt.
It depends how you look at it. A lot of people hate it. I'm okay with it because their story was done, in my opinion. You know, what is Hicks and Newt going to do on a prison planet? You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think it
that's
helps
true.
Ripley's story because now, again, she's the outsider. She's the only female with these convicts in Alien 3. So I get it why people would be mad because this relationship is so freaking good. But I think they did off what they needed to do. They did enough what they needed to do. But
You know,
these two
we should
together are
do
fantastic.
sometime we should do like an alien appreciation stream for the
I'm all for it.
franchise.
I'm all
Doesn't
for
that
it.
seem like it'd be a fun time?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for talking about Alien 3, which no one likes but me. I haven't seen Resurrection in a long time, but
Oh, I love Resurrection.
yeah,
Nobody likes Resurrection.
I like the directors because they directed a movie called Delicatessen, this French film, which is so weird and out there, but it's so good. It's just it's literally about it's the end of the world, and to make ends meet, the butcher has to butcher people, and he sells the meat to the town, and the town knows it. You know what I mean? It's just really weird. If it's in subtitles, but it's on Tubi. It's really really good. It's by the same directors, and the same directors did that French film Amelie. If you've heard of Amelie, I've never seen it,
Yes.
but same people. Yeah.
It's funny that you're mentioning this because Chad, who I'm doing a pre-record with after this, because I'm crazy and I decided to do two things in one night.
Yikes.
But he has mentioned Delicatessen before. It's on my list. I'm
Yes.
just kind of slowly making my way through because, as I've mentioned on the channel before, he has this list of obscure movies, and we're taking little bites through it every month. We're doing a double feature, him and I.
Mm-hmm.
And so Delicatessen, I don't even know if it's on that list, but it really should be because he's mentioned it quite a bit on Bonehead Weekly. Name drop another channel that you should watch if you're listening to this. And I want to work my way through more of those in 2026. I've said this before. I think some of the independent films really do need people like us who are on YouTube to kind of spread the word on them because they
Mm-hmm.
aren't necessarily movies that will
They get sucked up in the
market
ether.
big.
They get sucked up
Yeah.
in the ether of everything else that everybody is talking about, and I was on a stream last night, and so I said I don't really do much on YouTube other than the interviews and collabs like with you and Patrick anymore because it's all the same thing. We're all talking about the same movies, and shut up, Patrick. It is not. It's
Well,
it's
okay.
it's
I
all
will
the same thing that everyone's talking about, and it just gets old. So.
Wild Eye, I think you've warned me against Wild Eye before.
I'll say this, and Patrick has seen more Wild Eye movies than I have. So you know what? I'll say this. I think I've discussed 5 or 6 Wild Eye films. There is a playlist. I've liked one of them. The rest were torturous or
Oh,
worse, which includes that stupid fucking Sharkula movie he mentioned earlier.
but IFC, Patrick, you've talked about IFC before as being really good, and actually, some of their movies have come out really well.
Hmm. Yeah,
I had just put
and
up. Oh,
I could just sadly be really digging the bottom of the Wild Eye barrel. You know what I mean with the ones I picked. But
it's
because
possible, right?
oh yeah, it's
Oh, he
very
said not
possible.
true. Oh, IFC is the best, he says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got that Sunday night stream, like I think it's once a month. The IFC Midnights. They are always praising an IFC movie. They get together and talk it.
Oh, I need to Sunday nights, like
I
tonight?
think so. I
Oh,
don't know. He'd have to put it in the chat, but I know they recently did one. But I think it's Sunday nights, maybe once a month, maybe
oh,
twice a month.
okay.
Yeah,
Let me know, Patrick. Put something in the chat so that I know when to watch.
yeah,
The next one, this is another one you picked, which is a good pick. Helen and
yes.
Daniel, and I used his real name because I wanted to humanize him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, aka
It's
Candyman.
yeah. It's again. It's a perfect love story. Now, one thing I will say, the only thing that I hate about Candyman is that she looks like his long lost love. Of all the tropes I do love, I don't like that. I
You
don't
don't?
like. I've never liked. again, I just talked about The Fly. You know what I mean? You know, I love a good love story. I've never liked the trope, like even in Fright Night. We'll bring up Fright Night. You know, he pulls up the painting and it looks like Amanda Bierce. You know what I mean? I don't like, you know, she just happens to look like my long lost love from 13 centuries ago or that type of stuff. That taken out, that Helen represents Daniel's love, it's still so good. It's still so good. And I
And
think it's
his voice is like butter. Just it's like I feel wrong for having having that like attraction to a killer in a movie, but he
now,
just I
hey
think it's
man,
intentional.
why do people love Sam Elliott? Because he's got that voice. You know what I mean? It's that voice. Like I always say, I'd want Sam Elliott to read my autobiography because at least he'd make me sound cool. Um, but what I love about Daniel and Helen is, again, it's tragic. He fell in love with a girl and they butchered him, you know, because you know you can't have interracial relations back then, you know. And the way they play off each other, Virginia Madsen is so good being this inquisitive, no nonsense character. And Tony Todd, he is, again, we'll go back to the vampires. I love the aristocrats. He's so regal, prim, and proper. This guy is walking around like he's working a fucking Shakespeare play while he's gutting people. You know what I mean? And just the way, again, Daniel's playing with his food. He's like, you represent my long lost love, but you know what? You also took away my power by proving that Candyman didn't exist in Cabrini Green because it was just a gangbanger. So now I need you. You know what I mean? Again, it's like Hannibal and Clarice. They need each other. But Daniel needs Helen more than Helen needs Daniel. Helen just needs to get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? But he is still playing with his food and he's enjoying it. You know what I mean? And they got a great chemistry. They really do. Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd.
They do. I'm so glad that you chose these two. I wouldn't have thought to put them on the list. Although I like that our list is not necessarily people that you would think of right off the top of your
Mm-hmm.
head.
Yeah, they don't have to physically be in a relationship to be a couple. That's why when I sent you that, which is also going to be great for our final choice, or that 100% credit to you. You don't have to physically be in a relationship to be a couple. That's why I said with the term
Right.
work wife. You know what I mean? With Hannibal and Clarice. You know, I said, do they have to physically be married or dating? You said no. I said, perfect, because that opens up Pandora's box, and we can find all this stuff. And people don't realize, like The Fly, Candyman is a love story. It really is.
It
It's a
is.
very tragic love story because he died in his original form just because he loved the wrong person, air quotes. You know what I mean?
Some of those tragic love stories are the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's not wrapped up with a bow. It's not perfect.
Yeah. And you get behind Candyman because what do I always say? Because Candyman's also a revenge film. He's getting revenge. But what have I always said? You know, what makes a great villain? They believe what they're doing is the right thing. Well, he's getting revenge for what happened to him, you know, because of who he was and who he fell in love with and who he got pregnant. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It
exactly.
you have those topics, those push button topics that it's so subtle in this movie, though. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, beating you over the head with it. You know, it's not in your face every 5 minutes. Okay, we get it. We get it. We get it. They have it sprinkled out perfectly. And even Helen herself says, you know, when she got assaulted, she says, if someone of color was called in, you know, they'd still be there. But, you know, one white woman makes the call, I'm safe in 5 minutes. The little subtlety, and you know they have that little taboo-ness between Helen and Daniel, and it's perfect with the way they are together.
And they somehow managed in this movie to make me want her this is so bad, want her dead so that they could be together. Because her
Yeah.
husband or boyfriend, whoever that was caca.
Oh, he sucked. He sucked. Even if they didn't have the scenes where she's already moving in, well, what a piece of crap. His
Yeah, he
wife
was.
is in the insane asylum, and he's already got his little student making him dinner. You know what I mean? But you know what? they did a great job of showing how much of a piece of crap he was. They could have taken that stuff out, but you saw the way he was looking at her at his little class. You know what I mean? He was looking
Yeah.
right at her. He wasn't looking at the chubby student next to him. He was looking right at her. So you knew something was going on.
But you know what? That's what made me further want these two together.
Hey, and you know what? She's the new Candyman as the end of this movie. She got her revenge. So she's the jilted lover, just like he was.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very, very good pick on this. They were not at the forefront of my mind, but I think trying to think there was one that you added. Was it this one? Helen and Daniel?
Yes.
Was this the last one you added? Okay.
It was either this one or it was Ripley and Hicks.
And I was like, it just makes for 7. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But the last one that we picked together.
No. This is 100% you. This one was you. And I'm so proud that
you like.
Yeah. I'm so proud that you picked this one because I didn't even think of it. Go for it.
I didn't see any lists out there that would have had it either. But we were saying how it doesn't necessarily have to be another human being. So yes, Arnie and Christine.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so happy that you picked this one because it is a love story. You know, it's weird, you know, but you know what? Men love their cars. They really do. They will sometimes do more for their fucking cars than they will do for their wife and kids. And that's a fact. I hate to say that is a fact.
Well, Arnie, I just watched Christine again the other night, and the way he falls in love with this car, it's love at first sight when he sees that it's for sale.
And she looks like garbage, and he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. It's kind of like a rags to riches situation. He fixes her up, puts all this time into her, even has a human girlfriend, and she doesn't like the car, and he's like, yeah, I don't think you should talk that way about my car.
Yeah. What he says, he's like, don't hit my girl. You know what I mean? When she's getting frustrated, she like hits the dashboard. And he's like, don't hit my girl or don't hit my car, or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's just, and his obsession with her builds and builds and builds. And this actor is just so good, again, at being subtle and being creepy. And again, you know, happy Valentine's Day. We're talking about nothing but toxic relationships. It's a toxic relationship because she is changing him. He is hooked up with the bad girl. He is nice, sweet, innocent, nerdy Arnie Cunningham, and he hooks up with the bad girl. Now he's choking out his father and trash talking the cops and doing this and that, and it happens. And then it's sad because, you know, in the book, Arnie is getting possessed by the spirit of the owner. It's a little more vague in the movie. You know, in the movie, it makes it seem like Christine's just evil when she comes off the assembly line. But you still believe that Arnie is really, truly appreciates her because at the end, when he's taken out and he flies through the windshield because he is the one behind the wheel, you know he is the one doing that, trying to run down Lee and Dennis. He doesn't tell Dennis goodbye or Lee or anyone. He puts his hands on Christine's grill and just puts his hands down to the bottom of it. You know, and he still tells her goodbye. He still loves her to the bitter end. And Arnie's not stupid. He kind of, I think he knows that he's not in control, but he doesn't care.
I think I love when Stephen King has supernatural elements in his movies. I know he has other books out there that don't have that, and I don't find them to be as interesting. Sorry, Stephen King. He's brilliant in his writings, but this is a movie that Eric and I are gonna we have plans to do another, like, just focus on the Christine as a movie, because you said it's in your top 5.
It's in my top 5 movies for John Carpenter. This is why I keep telling people, quit watching Halloween and The Thing. There's more to John Carpenter than Halloween and The Thing. I promise you. Okay, some aren't as good. Some people might not like Christine, but you know what? Give it a shot. Get the fuck out of Haddonfield and actually go watch Christine or watch Starman or watch Big Trouble in Little China. Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires. I love that movie. There's more to him than that dude in the William Shatner mask or that alien in Antarctica. And I wish people would do that more. But this is, I think, underrated and underappreciated, and it's just that car is just so it looks so beautiful. I love the way that car looks. I love it
Well,
when
I
it's all
think
cleaned
this
up.
is anyone that listens to this later, or I don't know if Jen or Patrick have any plans on going to Kentucky in October, but Christine, I think that it looks like there's maybe putting together some kind of a cast reunion because they have William Ostrander, I might be saying his name wrong, Ostrander, and Christine the Car will be
Hmm.
there. And when you see that, it's only a matter of time before you start to see maybe other cast members hopefully show up in the announcements. So I think it's really cool that people can take pictures with the car there. There's different levels, I think you can get in the car if you want, pay a certain price. You can pretend like the car is running you over,
Hmm.
which is fun. But yeah, I mean, definitely a love story that you didn't see coming. It's
Mm-mm.
just a really cool storyline when you think
It,
about it, just
you can
outside the norm.
pull that apart. You replace Christine with a bad girl. Dennis is already telling Arnie, "Don't do it. She's bad for you. What are you thinking? Blah blah blah." Then Dennis notices, "Oh wow, this chick is really changing Arnie." You know what I mean? This is Arnie's focal point. You know, Lee is choking to death on her hamburger. I don't care, but I'm more mad that Christine has a scuff mark. You know what I mean? I love it. And then that one scene where he realizes that she can regenerate. It's one of the best scenes in the whole movie where he just turns around and he just says,
Show me.
"Show me." And you have that score when the lights turn on. Oh shit. I wish more people would bring up Christine when it comes to John Carpenter films. It really, I don't want to say it really bugs me, but I'm like, it kind of bugs me. I'm like, you know what I mean? I get it.
Oh, yeah.
His
I
batting
mean,
average is not the best. I fully admit that, but I'm like, he's more than just Mr. Halloween. I guarantee you, if you went up to him at a convention, he would be more happy to talk Christine than to talk about Michael Myers. He's been talking about Michael Myers since 1978, and he's sick of it. All right.
well, and the fact that Christine is a jealous lover.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that happens in real life. She's a
Mm-hmm.
jealous lover, and she's not gonna let anyone come between her and Arnie.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
It,
yeah,
it's.
I don't know, it was just one of those movies that I'm glad I rewatched it the other night
Mm-hmm.
because now it's all fresh in my mind too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also, if you even wanna go a step further, she also it's like a relationship that where someone doesn't want their spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, what have you, to even hang out with other people.
Oh yeah, yeah. She keeps him
Yeah,
away from everybody. He never
yes,
leaves the garage. He never leaves the garage unless he's doing work for Darnell. Transferring paint or whatever. But she's also very protective of him. Nobody can hurt Arnie but me. That's why she runs over Buddy and Moochie and everybody at the garage. You know what I mean? She kills
yeah,
Darnell because Darnell's treats Arnie like a piece of crap. She's like, no one hurts
absolutely.
Arnie but me.
Very
That's what it is.
abusive relationship, but it's crazy to see him because it first starts kind of subtle. Oh, you're not seeing him wear his glasses anymore. You're not
Mm-hmm.
thinking anything of it because, oh, well, his glasses were broken. Maybe he just got contacts in or something. But
Mm-hmm.
then you start to see the personality change. I was like, geez, he is really,
That scene when it's New Year's Eve and he's driving Dennis around and he's drinking and driving, but he looks like a goat. He's thinner, and there's uses of light. Carpenter makes him all blue with the light, but you can tell his skin has gotten paler. He's definitely not eating properly and taking care of himself, and it's all because of this new woman in his life that's making him make the wrong decisions.
absolutely.
Yeah.
General, that's a great point to bring up the jealous lover angle because love makes you crazy obsessive sometimes, and that's part of
Mm-hmm.
love. That is
Yeah.
so true.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off, oh, it's just a car, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just turns into so much more. Just like
Yeah.
she didn't want Lee in that car.
Oh, and
She didn't want him in there.
when he walks in, he sees what Buddy and his gang did. He is so upset with what happened. Like he's holding Lee's hand, he's crushing it. You know what I mean?
And she's
And
like, "Ow,
then
you're hurting me."
yeah, he doesn't care. He just kind of, and then he turns her, and then she tries to console him, and he turns away, and he just lets loose on her. Calling her filthy names and shoving her and stuff like that, and he's going off so much, like, spits flying out when he's yelling at her. It's just like, my God, it's a complete 180.
Oh
It's all
yeah.
because of Christine, this relationship.
I've grown to appreciate this movie more now
Mhm,
than I did the first time that I watched it.
mhm.
But I was telling my husband there's some parts that are just fun to kind of pick on too.
Yeah,
Like I said, and I'll save some of this obviously for when we talk about it in more in depth, but
sure.
like the cop asking about the red paint. Well, this red paint is outdated. How are you even able to get this anymore? Dude, mind your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's little things like that like, again, Harry Dean Stanton as the cop is just he's a great character actor, and he plays Arnie is this tough hard ass now. Remember in the beginning, he was getting picked on and his lunch was being stolen and his yogurt's getting stabbed and he's, being picked on and stuff like this, and now he's got, big enough balls to basically tell the investigator, "Go screw yourself." You know what I mean? "I didn't do anything wrong," you know?
yeah, how does the nerd ends up with not one but two girls by
Yeah,
the end?
yeah.
Well, I should say that with Lee, and I kind of joked about this with you, how Lee was kind of hanging on the friend towards
Mhm.
the end or at
Yeah.
the end. It's just like, geez, she kind of moved on quickly.
Yeah, well, like I joked, I said, "Yeah, he should have picked Kelly Preston in the beginning anyway, so
I
idiot."
know, right? All is fair in love and war.
Yeah, love worn cars, I guess.
But anyway, thank you. Thank you to the people that are tuning in now. Thank you to the people that watch this later.
Yes.
This has been a fun one to work on.
It was really fun thinking of couples. It was really fun doing something different.
Yeah.
Not just, Valentine or My Bloody Valentine, even though that's what me and Melissa are watching next week. It's just but that's because she's never seen it, you know what I mean? It's fun doing something different, but still staying with, like, the Valentine's Day theme. It was fun.
Yeah. I love this. I'm glad that you liked it. I
Oh,
always
yeah.
feel like, yay, when Eric likes an idea.
I told her there pretty much isn't anything I won't do. It's fine. Yeah. But
Our list is like
oh god, like I said, I'll be doing it till I'm fucking 90. But I look forward to at least the next 75 years with you. We'll say that.
thank you. Well, just so you know what's coming up on the channel, next couple of weeks, I've got some pre-records that I'll be putting out. One on double feature of that I'm doing with Chad, and then also a Scream appreciation pre-record that I'm doing with Rachel, or that I've done with Rachel. I just have to do the edits on it and get it out there. Either I don't haven't figured out which direction or which is coming out next week versus the following week, but
Mhm.
those two will be out in the next 2 weeks. And then I believe you and I are getting together, I think, the first Sunday in March. And we'll
Okay.
just have to figure out a topic that we're gonna work on.
Hey.
There's so many to choose from.
Yeah, I know. That's good. It's always fun though. It's always fun.
Yes. And thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was
Thank you,
thanks
Jen.
for joining. Thanks for not watching the Super Bowl and hanging out with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, this is more fun anyway. And it looks like there was a couple more people that tuned in that are a little shy.
That's okay.
But
It's
hello
okay.
to you all and goodbye
No,
to you all.
yep.
All right, we will see you all next time.
Yep. Cheers.